Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this beautiful Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, sports, and so much more. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, the Rally for Democracy and Progress, RDP, has filed criminal charges against Mike Kavekotora and Kennedy Sheku Pakela for the false representation of RDP with intent to commit fraud. RDP President Kendi Nehova shares more during a press briefing at the party's head office in Windhoek today. This video was contributed by Mariot Ngula. Let's take a look.
Regarding the Electoral Commission of Namibia, ECN, and their involvement in assisting Mike Kavekotora and Kennedy Sheku Pakela to defraud the party, the Namibian government, and indeed Namibian population. The Rally for Democracy and Progress, RDP, wishes to inform the media, and through the media, it is members, supporters, and the sympathizers that the criminal charges have been laid against individuals, Mike Kavekotora and the Kennedy Sheku Pakela, who have falsely represented themselves with the intent to commit fraud. These charges have been laid in accordance with the Criminal Procedure Act. These individuals were never democratically elected during the June 2019 elections at RDP Convention.
Getting to our next story, over 40 immigration and border control officials from 12 Southern African Development Community SADC member states have received advanced customer service training to improve the experience of tourists visiting Southern Africa. In a significant move to enhance tourism services across the SADC region, a pioneering Train the Trainer tourism customer service workshop was recently conducted. This initiative, a key component of the SADC Tourism Program 2020 to 2030, focuses on equipping border officials with crucial customer service skills to create a more welcoming and efficient experience for travelers, thereby bolstering the tourism sector across SADC member states. The workshop emerged from a collaborative effort led by the SADC Business Council Tourism Alliance and the SADC Secretariat, working in tandem with the Joint Action Nature Africa / Climate Resilience and Natural Resource Management Program. This program, a partnership between SADC, the European Union, and Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, underscores the region's commitment to improving tourism infrastructure and service quality. As a major driver of economic growth in the region, tourism is a key industry of focus for SADC, and consequently, several initiatives are outlined in the SADC Tourism Program to enhance the experience of visiting tourists, such as improved and aligned visa regimes, improved air access, and capacity building at touchpoints that tourists encounter along their journey. Recognizing the vital role of border personnel in shaping first impressions for visitors, the workshop was the first step in creating coursework and training senior border management officials to improve interactions with tourists and facilitate better communication. SADC Secretariat Senior Program Officer for Tourism, Moreri Mambote, said first-hand knowledge participating countries were Namibia, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, with attendees convening at the Mangwa Valley Game Lodge in the Dino Kang Game Reserve in South Africa to gain first-hand knowledge of how tourism has transformed the previously agricultural area. The coursework covered critical topics such as the economic importance of tourism, principles of customer service, effective communication techniques, cultural sensitivity, problem solving and creating customer service action plans, The interactive program also offered a game reserve immersion and incorporated experiential activities such as game drives to provide a holistic context of the tourism industry and build camaraderie among participants. Getting into our next story. Allegations of tribalism have emerged from ethnic groups in regions near the border, claiming that President Nangolo Mbumba's decision to permit the importation of mahangu grains from Angola unfairly favors the Oshuambo-speaking people. Mbumba made these remarks at a groundbreaking ceremony for the Ondonga Heritage Shrine in the Oshikoto region in May. In an open letter to the president, Namibian Lives Matter chairperson Sinvula Muda Betty said, "It is clear that our country is selectively applying laws to benefit a section of Namibia and excluding all other areas of Namibia that may be facing similar challenges or even worse." According to recent predictions on the effects of the looming drought, areas such as the Zambezi region are more prone to suffer the worst effects of drought due to low rainfall that they have received compared to other parts of Namibia, and yet efforts to assist people of the Zambezi in mitigating the effects of drought is directed to areas that are less likely to suffer the worst effects of drought. He said, "The question that begs an answer from the head of state is what criteria has he used to allow one part of Namibia to be exempted from the country's laws in importing mahangu and not to do so at a national level? Considering that the staple food for people from the Zambezi is maize, which is not as drought-resistant as mahangu, why then has the Ministry of Agriculture not allowed the importation of maize meal and sweet potato from Zambia into Namibia? Is the life of a resident of the Zambezi region less than that of any other in other parts of the same country? Are Namibians from areas outside the northern part second-class citizens?" he questioned. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture has clarified the situation, stating that the arrangement applies specifically to the Namibia-Angola border due to its unique context. According to the ministry, the decision to allow the importation of grains, specifically mahangu and cow feed, with fewer restrictions was made due to the observed inflow of these grains from Angola and the connection between the Angola border and the east-northeast border. The goal was to facilitate easier and more controlled importation through the official border rather than through unofficial entries. The ministry emphasized that this arrangement is exclusive to the Namibia-Angola border. There is no physical border and imposing restrictions would be difficult to manage. Our goal was to make the process more practical and controllable by encouraging the use of official border entries. In other areas, permits are still required for importing grains, the ministry stated. Executive Director Ndiyakupi Ngitwa Mata further explained in a public notice last year that the ministry recognized the necessity of enabling individuals to import these products without imposing unaffordable requirements on them. Getting to the last of our stories, the city of Windhoek launched its new mobile app and a revamped website, along with its customer charter aimed at improving service delivery. The app allows residents to manage municipal accounts, access account statements, report incidents such as potholes, downed traffic lights, and pipe burst, submit meter readings, verify taxes and businesses, among others. City of Windhoek Mayor Queen Kamati said that it is part of their ongoing efforts to refine and enhance municipal services. Jemima Dembele gave this report.
The initiatives that we are implementing as part of our customer service charter are testament to our unwavering dedication to customer satisfaction. This is the beginning of an ongoing effort to refine and enhance services. Ladies and gentlemen, Program Director, this is the beginning of an ongoing effort to refine and enhance our services. We remain committed to listening, learning, and evolving to meet the changing needs of our customers. Lastly, as referenced earlier, change is the only constant and technology evolves at a rapid pace. Therefore, it is essential for organizations to adapt to the advancements in technology and increasing needs of our residents. Embracing this ethos, we are excited to announce the launch of our City app and freshly revamped website. These communication platforms encapsulate our promise to be more accessible, efficient, and transparent in serving our valued residents while reinforcing our commitment to enhance municipal services and account our customer care value proposition. In conclusion,
in our newspaper, the Namibian Sun. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our story of the day.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Getting into our story of the day, the Katutura Residents Committee, KRC, has called on all residents in Windhoek whose municipal accounts have escalated suspiciously in the past 3 years to file cases against the city of Windhoek on Saturday. KRC spokesperson Sean Kariseb elaborates on what they deem the city's fraudulent billing system during a press briefing held at Jacob Marenga Secondary School. Let's take a look.
We were already sure from the beginning that there was something fishy at the city of Windhoek. We were already sure from the beginning. So the first thing was that I'm telling you, and I have the president's letter, and I will share it with all of you. The letter from the president is here, where he's referring us back to ministers, to all institutions that we have been already at. We have been doing this for 2 years. So we will share this with the public, whether the president is saying, so that it does not come across this. We are just talking things that are not true. And then it is very, very important to note that what we picked up is we have a memorandum. We have a memorandum, we have reports, and we have emails, and we have court documents which are proving that the city of Windhoek has been engaging in illegal activity. Illegal activity, by that I mean they've been demanding payment from us illegally, payment that they don't deserve legally. They've been demanding that through a defective billing system. As you know, last week this story was also exposed in a local print, in a local newspaper. And City of Windhoek was even asked, and they admitted to this. Now we are having that confirmation to share. We had it already, but we want to share it with the country so that they can see. Because the reason we are doing this is we wanted to do it through the first office, but we were not given a chance. So we are going to do it in the open, and we are going to demand that this is attended to correctly.
Angola plans to sell a minority stake in Standard Bank de Angola that was controlled by a former insurance tycoon. On the other side of the break, we expand on this.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Getting into our economic news, Angola plans to sell a minority stake in Standard Bank de Angola SA that was controlled by a former insurance tycoon who is serving a 9-year prison term, according to a presidential decree. The Angolan government seized a stake of 49% in Standard Bank Angola in 2020 from Carlos São Vicente, who was convicted for crimes including embezzlement and tax fraud. Angolan President João Lourenço approved the sale of as much as 34% of Standard Bank Angola through an initial public offering, according to the decree. The state will keep a 50% stake in the Luanda-based lender. Standard Bank Group, Africa's largest leader, owns the remaining 51% and has the right to buy an additional 24% stake in its Angolan unit through the IPO, according to the decree. It did not specify when the IPO would take place. São Vicente, who has been ordered to pay Angola $500 million, was a key figure during the tail end of former President José Eduardo dos Santos' rule, which ended in 2017. Now, during that period, he headed a group of companies which sold insurance contracts to state oil company Sonangol and amassed a fortune that enabled him to buy the stake in Standard Bank Angola, among other assets. The decision to seize his assets was linked to moves by Lourenço to crack down on alleged graft under his predecessor's rule. Standard Bank started operations in the southern African country in 2010. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.18, against the euro at 19.54, against the US dollar at 18.00. $2 Namibian and 48 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and platinum went up while copper and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.50%, going for $85 and 42 cents per barrel. In our international news, China is a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine, NATO leaders said. We get into this after the break.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Getting into our international news, China is a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine, NATO leaders said on Wednesday, as the defense alliance hardens its stance on Beijing and the systemic challenges they say it poses to their country's security. The joint declaration marks NATO's most pointed tone yet on China's role in a war that has galvanized the 75-year-old bloc, which celebrated its anniversary this week at a 3-day leaders summit in Washington hosted by U.S. President Joe Biden. China's no-limits partnership with Russia and its large-scale support for Russia's defense industrial base are enabling Moscow to wage its war, the NATO leaders' statement said, as they argued Beijing to seize all material and political support to Russia's war effort. The U.S. and European leaders in recent months have accused China of bolstering Russia's defense sector with the export of dual-use goods. Beijing has denied supplying weaponry and maintains it keeps strict controls on such goods. The NATO leaders also elaborated to a greater extent that in the past on concerns of China's growing capabilities and activities in outer space and reiterated their previous unease about what they called Beijing's malicious cyber and hybrid activities, including disinformation and rapidly expanding nuclear arsenal. We remain open to constructive engagement with the PRC, including to build reciprocal transparency with a view of safeguarding the alliance's security interests, the statement said, referring to China by the initials of its official name. At the same time, we are boosting our shared awareness, enhancing our resilience and preparedness, and protecting against the PRC's coercive tactics and efforts to divide the alliance. The NATO leaders' declaration on Wednesday comes as the 32-member alliance, historically focused on security in North America and Europe, has in recent years upped its engagement with U.S. allies in Asia and increasingly seen its security as linked to the region, even as member countries have pursued divergent policies towards China. For the third consecutive year, leaders of New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea attended the NATO Leaders Summit, in another sign of closer ties between the bloc and those countries, as well as Australia. We now take a look at our weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius, while Oshakati can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Bento can expect a minimum of 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. Oranjemund can expect some showers with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Lüderitz can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius, while Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. After the break, we get into the world of sports. To stay with Sunset News.
Tickets are now live. Watch Namibia versus Portugal live at the Dr. Hage Geingob Stadium on the 13th of July 2024 at 3 p.m. Save this number 085 785 6221 and WhatsApp #NRU to purchase your tickets online. Or simply scan the QR code.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Let's take a look at our sports news. National rugby coach Alistair Coetzee on Tuesday announced several changes to the Witches side that will take on Portugal in a test match in Windhoek on Saturday. The Witches were hammered 92-8 by the Blue Bulls 2 weeks ago, and only 4 players remain in their starting positions from that match, namely the centers Dango Berger and Alicinho Isaacs, left wing Lloyd Jacobs, and scrum half Jacques Taron. Some other positional changes have been made, with captain Prince Hawasep moving from 8th man to flank, Johan Ratiev moving from flank to lock, and Haitumbu Shifuku from loose head to tight head. The squad has been strengthened by some professional players from abroad, like fullback JC Nel of Griquas, fly half Tian Swanepoel of the Lions, and Max Kashi Sheko of Los Angeles Rugby Football Club, while others have returned from injury, including prop Jason Benade, hooker Ober Norchi, and 8th man Adrian Boisman. Several other professional players abroad, like Wian Conradi, Damien Stevens, Clement Lobser, and Louis van der Westhuizen, have, however, not been called up, with Coetzee giving opportunities for local-based players to make their mark. They include UNAM wing Quirion Majid, who will make his national debut after a fine season in the local Premier League, as well as the substitutes AJ Kierans, Peter Dirgat, Des Sethi, and Armand Kombrink. Getting into our next story, Liverpool footballer Darwin Núñez was involved in an altercation with spectators after his national team Uruguay were beaten on Wednesday evening. The striker was seen physically confronting Colombia fans in the stands after the final whistle in the Copa America semi-final. According to Uruguayan outlet El Pias, disorder broke out close to where friends and family members of the Uruguay team were located. Nunes is yet to comment publicly on the incident. TV cameras and fans captured images of Nunes climbing up railings and making his way into the crowded stands of the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. He could then be seen confronting Colombia fans as others tried to restrain him. Other Uruguay players were reportedly involved in the incident. Uruguay captain Jose Maria Jimenez said the players were trying to defend their families, describing the situation in the crowd as a disaster. Reuters reported. Now he continued, there was no police and we had to defend our families. This is the fault of 2 or 3 people who had a few too many drinks and don't know how to drink. Nunes was seen hugging his son on the pitch after the altercation. South American football's governing body, CONMEBOL, strongly condemned the incident and said it would launch an investigation. There is no place for intolerance and violence on and off the field, it added. The brawl happened after Uruguay slumped to a 1-0 defeat against Colombia in the last 4 matches, denying them a place in Monday's Copa America final. Shortly before the crowd disorder began, players and coaching staff had clashed on the pitch after the match ended. Nunes started the game up front for Uruguay but could not convert one of his 4 attempts on goal. Liverpool signed the forward for an initial €64 million from Portuguese side Benfica in June 2022. He scored 20 goals in 65 appearances for the club. BBC News has contacted Nunes' representative for comment, but still nothing from his side. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for joining Sunset News on this beautiful Thursday evening. Do remember that Sunset News plays every Monday to Thursday on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 at 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Galena Rashipura, and this has been Sunset News.